Hello, everyone. Welcome to my channel, Identity Coach Michelle. If you are new here, thank you so much for stopping by. I hope that you would subscribe if you like the content. And for those of you who are returning, thank you so much for your support. It means a lot to me. What I wanted to talk about today, and I'm going to hop right on into this. This was kind of, I have been thinking about, doing something, and speaking on this, for a while because a while back I shared a piece of my testimony, about how I used to be, a part of the tarot community, and I used to read tarot cards, a long time ago. And I actually had a YouTube channel on YouTube, reading tarot cards, and this was years ago. This was before the tarot community on YouTube blew up, and was before there were because now it's like so many tarot card readers out there. It's oversaturated. But yeah, this was before, way before that. So what I wanted to discuss was the honestly, to me, and in my opinion, I feel like it's clickbait. Um, Divine masculine, twin flame. I remember when the term twin flame had just started circulating within the YouTube community. Someone came up with that term, and I forgot who came up with the term twin flame, and then next thing you know, it started becoming a thing, and it was just popping up in the tarot community on YouTube. What I want to talk about is the toxicity behind it. And this may throw some of you out there for a loop, but I also wanted to talk about the term kingdom spouse. This is a term that is used a lot in the Christian community as well. You will see the term kingdom spouse being used on a lot of the Christian videos where the YouTubers are telling um, someone that their kingdom spouse is coming and that their kingdom spouse is on their way. Nothing is wrong with being hopeful for your future spouse to come along. Nothing is wrong with it at all. Nothing is wrong with being hopeful. Nothing is wrong with praying to God about it. Nothing is wrong with speaking that into existence. But the reason why I'm talking about this today is because these are clickbait words, they are trending words. And this is something that's been overly used um for many years now. Love is a very touchy subject. Love is something that a lot of us desire as humans, which is a perfectly natural thing. That's how God created us, that's how God made us. Love is also, um what's the word I'm looking for? Love is also something that, like, it puts people in their feels. It gets people in their feels. Um it's one of those topics where, and whether you're given relationship advice, whether you're doing a tarot card reading about somebody's divine masculine or divine feminine or their twin flame, or whether you know someone in the Christian community is promising, um, you know, someone that their kingdom spouse is coming, it's instant attraction, instant attention. It plays on the emotions. It plays on the emotions. Um, because there's so many of us, especially women. And I'm not discounting the men, but you see more women actually underneath these videos claiming, you know, their kingdom spouse, hoping for their divine masculine, hoping for their soulmate, their twin flame. Um, it's clickbait. I'm sorry, it just is. It's clickbait. It's the false promises. The false promises. That's what it is. It's the false promises. And being as that, I've been in both communities. So I've been a part of the tarot community. Okay, because I used to read tarot cards. It's just a part of my journey. It's just a part of my story. It's not what I do now, but that was once a part of my life. I've been in the tarot community, and I've also had a chance to peer into the Christian community. You have women that are, a lot of women are hopeless romantics. They are hoping and praying and wishing for that man to come along. They are hoping and wishing and praying. And all it takes is someone to create a video saying, this is your person. A marriage is coming soon for somebody. This person is on their way. Um, you've been single for a long time, but you won't be single for long. And then you see people come back into the comments and they say, well, you've been saying for months that my divine masculine is coming, and you've been saying for months that my kingdom spouse is coming. Where is he? Look, only you know what you do in your personal time with your personal life. Why are you looking to someone else to give you advice on this? The only person that you should be looking to is God. Seriously. Not somebody trying to tell you when your kingdom spouse is going to come into the picture, or trying to predict what they think your kingdom spouse or your divine masculine is going to look at. And the reason why I'm putting both of these into the same categories is because honestly, one is no better than the other. The tarot community is no better than the Christian community when they do it, and the Christian community is no better than the tarot community when they do it. The only thing, the only difference is that the tarot community is using cards, which is not of God. Okay, I gotta be honest. Tarot is not looked at as being of God. And then the other community is basically, there are people saying that they have a prophetic word for somebody. Okay, and I'm not doubting that whoever claims they have a prophetic word. I'm not doubting that you probably don't have a prophetic word for someone, but I just feel like anybody can say anything. Anybody can say anything. Seriously. Anybody can make a profile and, start speaking stuff and start declaring stuff. And the way this world is set up, the way you have people out here that are naive, gullible, desperate to hear anything to give them some type of hope, you'll more than likely say something and it will catch a person's attention, and they're like, "Oh, this applies to me. This applies to me." I, to be honest, I don't think it's not one thing, and that's what the Bible does most definitely say to test the spirits. I have a few spiritual downloads that I received from the Holy Spirit, and I shared them on my channel under my videos, the quiet whispers. I also turned them into shorts. So some of them are full messages and some of them are shorts. And I say it right in my videos. Make sure whoever you're listening to, make sure you test the spirits. Make sure you know that they are authentic, because everybody that's saying they have a message for you, or everybody that's coming with the message, doesn't really, I mean, it's not genuine, and you have to be able to discern and decipher the the au- the authentic the um from the fake, from the knockoff. um so I can't be the judge and say that certain people who have claimed to have a prophetic word or message about somebody getting married. I can't sit here and say, oh, they're lying. But I will say that there are most definitely people out there who do it for clicks. They do it for views, and some of them have successfully managed to grow an audience. They have successfully managed to grow a high number of followers and subscribers, because they have people who, you know, they don't know anything about discernment. They don't know anything about testing the spirits. And you have some people that are so, like I said, they're gullible, they're naive. A lot of them, they're desperate, they're yearning to be loved, they're desperate to be loved. And you have people that want to hear what they want to hear. So if you're saying something that sounds good, if you're saying something that they want to hear, they're gonna take the bait. They're gonna fall for it. And they're gonna sop it up. They're gonna sop it up like a biscuit in some gravy. um and so, yeah, I can't talk about one community and not talk about the other community. And like I said, the reason why is because I've been a part of both communities. So I know this is a similarity within both communities. Whether you're reading it with cards or whether you're declaring that you have a prophetic word, this kingdom spouse and this divine masculine stuff, people know that it will get clicks. There are people out there that desire to be in partnerships. They desire to be loved. They desire to be in a marriage. Some people, for some people, that's their lifelong goal. And honestly, there's a lot of people out there that need to work on healing first. Because I mean, if your kingdom spouse does come, if you haven't done the healing work, you're not going to be able to recognize if your kingdom spouse is standing in front of you or not anyway. I mean, if your kingdom spouse does come, you're not going to be able to, I mean, what good are you to the other person if you're not healed? And this goes for men as well, but this is more targeted towards the women, because the women are the ones who I see always falling for it, always taking the bait. And let me tell you something about me personally. Um, I'm single. Do I want to be in a um relationship? I think about it from time to time. My feelings have gone back and forth in regards to this, because the more healing I do, the more elevating that I do. So sometimes, my thoughts and feelings on it go back and forth. But um I remember praying to God and talking to God and, telling God that I wanted, a good man who was, God fearing and who understood, his role as a man but didn't abuse his authority, someone who respected, his wife and understands that, his wife is a valuable asset to the relationship, and so on and so forth. But let's keep it real. If we have not done the healing work, someone coming into your life, like it's not going to turn out how the fairy tale that's being fed to you through the tarot card readings and through the Christian community with their prophetic words. And this is not like, I'm not trying to be a Debbie Downer, and I'm not trying to speak negatively about it, but it's just a matter of looking at a situation realistically, taking off the rose colored glasses and being realistic about where you are at this point in time in your life. And if you are one of those people out there that's looking for your kingdom spouse, you're looking for your divine masculine, you can most definitely have that. Most definitely. But just know they're not gonna come to you, like they're not gonna be waiting at your door at your doorstep. Um it's not going to be some, I'm not saying that it's going to be rocky, that it's going to be turbulent, that it's going to be toxic, because one thing about God does not condone toxic relationships. No, relationships are not perfect and they definitely go through their ups and downs, but God isn't going to bless a mess. um that's another thing I wanted to touch on too. I'll probably touch on in another video. um Even though I'm no longer a part of the tarot community, one of the things that I notice about the tarot community is how you have some readers that will encourage people to go back to toxicity. Although we all have free will and people are going to do what they want to do anyway. Um, it's just crazy. A lot of this, it keeps people stuck. It does. A lot of this keeps people stuck. It keeps people stuck in a state of delusion. Um it it's kind of like I mentioned before, like it plays on people's emotions. And they know people would eat it up. They know people would eat it up. I if I made a bunch of videos about somebody's kingdom spouse coming and about somebody's divine masculine coming, I bet you I would get so many clicks and views. It's just one of those subjects that it just, it can easily take a hold of people and it can easily pull people in. You know, and women are the main ones who, like I said, who flock to stuff like that. Men have a tendency to be more logical. They can be emotional at times too. So I'm not gonna say that they're completely just turned off of their emotions, but because I feel like men have a tendency to be more logical in that aspect, that's why they don't get sucked into it like women do. And I'm not gonna go with that age old um stereotype about women being emotional creatures. About women being emotional creatures. We are naturally nurturing, and things like that. But, you know, just work on healing. That's what I would say. Just work on healing. I say healing. Just work on healing. Um, building your relationship with God. You know, I mean, and even if you don't have a relationship with God, I mean, I would hope you do, but if you don't, just focus on healing. But just be realistic. Just be realistic about the situation. Like if you know you're not doing anything, first of all, for a kingdom spouse to even come into your life, like if you're not going out, if you're not dating, or if you're not socializing, or if you're not in a social setting or a work setting or a group setting that will allow you to meet people and socialize with people, um you may or may not, your chances of finding somebody, it could just depend, it varies. But people actually, get up here on YouTube and Instagram and other places, and they will try to tell people a date, a time, and they will try to tell people what they're going to look like and what their hair color and their eye color is going to be. And you know and they'll say it's general information though. The information is so general. It'll be generalized information that can literally apply to anyone, you know and people just eat it right on up. They'll just eat it right on up. They'll say, oh, you've been busy and you've been working, and the last relationship you went through, was very traumatic, and it was, but this person that's coming in, this person this is the one. This is the person that you're going to get married to. And I mean, it's like dangling a carrot on a string in front of somebody's face, and as they inch closer to it, you're pulling it away. It's like feeding people what they want to hear. And like I said, they're just coming back for more, coming back for more, coming back for more. So I want to know other people's opinions about this. Keep in mind, this is my opinion on the matter, but also, like I said, I used to be a part of the tarot community, and I'm no longer a part of the tarot community, but I've also seen similarities in the Christian community. And I want to know some people's, thoughts on it. Um, I want to know. I want to know people's thoughts on this. I do. I do. I do. This is there it's definitely trending words. It's definitely clickbait words. Because I feel like this: instead of telling somebody their kingdom spouse is coming, instead of telling somebody their divine masculine is coming, or their life partner is coming, why don't you go ahead and tell the person, help them with healing. Say, hey ladies, you know if you're looking for your kingdom spouse, make sure you've done the healing work. Make sure this that this and that, is intact. Why don't you, give advice, you know give advice. Something like that to help them prepare, for when they do meet that person, instead of saying, oh, your person is coming. Just giving people false hopes. And I just see people, and it's so sad because you see people in the comments and they're so desperate for love. And then you see some people in the comments, and they talked about how they've been holding out for 15 years and 10 years, and how they're waiting for Johnny Appleseed to come back because that was their true love, and how they waiting for Earl to come back. And they've been sitting around waiting for 10 whole years for Earl to get a divorce from such and so he can come to them. I saw a lot of that foolishness in the tarot community. I mean, just a hot, toxic mess. It's really sad, and I just feel like as women, we have got to do better. Nothing is wrong with falling in love. Nothing is wrong with believing in love. Nothing is wrong with love. Love is beautiful. I love love too. But we got to be realistic about it. You got to be realistic about it, because we'll end up putting ourselves in a position where we fall for the wrong person, we'll get caught up with the wrong person because they said all the things that we wanted to hear, and we were so blinded by what we heard, and we were so blinded by they were speaking all the right words and they were saying all the right things, and he looked good and he smelled good, and next thing you know, you are in a toxic cycle that you can't get out of. Basically, all I'm saying is just make sure that you're doing the healing work. Make sure you are grounding yourself. Make sure you're using your single season as an opportunity to better yourself, level up, and put yourself in a position to actually meet your kingdom spouse. Okay? So that when that person comes along, you'll be ready for them. And if it's truly your kingdom spouse, they'll be ready for you as well. Okay. It'll be something that God approves of. So I definitely want to know people's opinions in the comments about this. Um, and I'm gonna leave it there. So until next time, everyone, take care. Bye bye.